On today's video, we are going to be taking items that I have thrifted in the past and we are going to be making them over into 'Twas the Night Before Christmas decorations. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be using paint and other supplies to make over these thrifted items that you can find in the thrift store pretty much anytime, and we are going to make them over into gorgeous, one-of-a-kind decorations and gifts. This video is in collaboration with Bailey over at Reclaimed Grace. If you don't know her, I think you are going to love her. So after you watch my video, I want you to head on over to her channel and check out her video that she made. She will also be making over thrifted items. I think you will love her because she is down to earth. Her projects are easy to follow and she's very creative. Let her know that I sent you. My name is Emily and I'm with J. Bowen & Company, and I'm so happy that you are here today. Thank you so much for clicking on my video, and let's go ahead and get started. The first project is what I'm calling this Santa cheese box. We are going to take this cheese box that I purchased at a local thrift store for only $3. The price tag says $6, however at this particular store they have a 50% running sale almost all the time, so you always get your, or almost always get your items for 50% off. So after just giving it a brief clean, I decided that I was going to add a decoupage paper on the top of the lid. I then decided to give the top of the lid a quick coat of white paint so that the decoupage paper would be as bright as possible. Now, if I wanted the decoupage paper to be darker, I could have just skipped this step. So after giving it a quick coat of paint, and this paint job does not have to be perfect, I let it dry. The paper that we're going to be using is one of my new Whimsykel Papers. The entire paper is 21 inches by 29 inches, so it is quite large. And it's a great bang for your buck because you get 4 different images on one paper. If you caught my last video, you would have seen the other 3 images. So I recommend that you check that video out as well because it was very popular and I had a lot of orders for that vintage Santa paper. I placed a second order and I still have some, however, they will sell out quickly. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to take out a fine mister spray bottle and you want to spray your paper lightly. If you're interested, I sell those spray bottles as well. And the reason that you want to spray your paper is to get out any of the wrinkles. After you've done that, you need to put down a starter strip of your Decoupage Gel medium. I used Modge Podge on this project. So the reason you're putting down just 2 inches instead of covering the entire project is so that you have a little bit more control. If you do place your paper down like I did and you decide to take it up and move it, just be very careful so that you don't rip or tear your project or your paper. But even if you tear it, there is an easy way to fix it, and I can show you how to do that. You just basically blend over it with your paint. So after you place your paper down, you're going to gently, with your hand or a brayer tool if you have one, you're going to gently rub on the top side of your paper to gently remove the air bubbles. And after you've done the first part of your paper, then you'll put down another couple inches of Modge Podge, then you'll rub it out, then a couple more inches, and so on until you've covered the entire project that you're working on, your entire item that you're working on. Now understand, with Modge Podge and with decoupage, your paper may have some wrinkles, and that's okay. That just adds character. You may be able to get it perfect, but you may have a few wrinkles, and just understand going into it that that is just the nature of the beast. So after you get it rubbed on completely, you're then going to put on another layer of your Decoupage Gel medium. Now I like to cover my piece kind of in a brush stroke manner so that when it dries, you're actually going to see a little bit of a texture that looks more like a painting instead of just long streaky lines if you just did it that way. That's just my preference. You can do it either way. You can also make cross hatch marks, or you can do whatever kind of design that you so choose. I just do whatever comes to mind at the time. I carry around 100 different Whimsykel design papers, ranging anywhere from abstract art to florals to animals to eclectic, wild, and crazy papers. Additionally, we have a new line of Yellowstone papers, and there's also some traditional ones. So after the paint or the decoupage gel has dried, you're then going to take out a fine sanding paper and you're just going to gently sand the edges. Be careful with this step because you don't want your paper to tear, and if you can, try to go in a downward motion. A side-to-side motion is okay too, but just be careful when you're doing this. So after the paper is lightly sanded, you will easily be able to tear it right off, and it will make a nice line right there on the edge, a nice straight edge. So just continue that around and just be careful when you're doing that. Okay, now for the fun part. What we're going to do is we're going to blend in this edge of the paper into the item so that you don't even see the line there. So these papers are really great to put on furniture, tabletops, dressers, and even canvases. And the beauty of these papers is that you can blend them right into your furniture so they look like they are a part of the furniture or the canvas that you're painting them on. So all I'm doing with this piece is I'm just adding black. Now you could add any of the colors in the papers, but this is just a very small little part that needs to be blended in, and because it's a dark paper, I'm just using black. But I'm going to go ahead and go around this entire piece just so it all, it kind of blends in and it kind of gives it a halo type effect. I'm going to put a link to Bailey's video and her YouTube page right there in my description, and also in the comments will be a playlist. So if you'd like to check out her video, go to my description or look in my comments. So what do you think of this technique? Does it look like something that you'd be interested in doing? If you check out Bailey's videos, a few videos ago, maybe 1 or 2 videos ago, she placed one of these Whimsykel papers, a large horse design, on the front of a piece of furniture. So y'all should check that video out as well. I ended up painting this entire outside of the box black as well. What do y'all think of the final reveal? If you like this project, please give me a thumbs up. Next project are these Snowflake Magnets. Now this is going to be a really quick project. So I took these wooden round pieces that came out of a Connect 4 game that I had, and I already gave them a coat of black paint. And then I took out my Gilded Tinsel gold transfers from Iron Orchid Designs, and I thought that these would make really fun magnets. I had made some magnets in the past using some of the other transfers from the 2024 holiday transfer books, but I thought these would be fun and they'd fit in with the "Twas the Night Before Christmas" theme, which is basically what it would look like after the kids have gone to bed, or if you're a child, what it might look like to a child. And so I thought, sparkly gold, candlelight. And so I thought that these magnets would fit in. So all you're going to do is you're going to take out your book and of the Gilded Tinsel transfers, and then there were some little snowflakes in there, so I cut them out, and then I'm just going to place those onto the wood rounds, and then I'm going to put a little magnet on the back. Transfers are very easy to use. All you have to do is take off the backing and then place it down on the object that you're using it on. And with the little stick that comes with all the transfers, you're gently going to rub it over the transfer. And as you're rubbing it, you just need to pull it off the top. Some of the transfer has not come off. Just place it back down and rub it a little bit more. Then you'll just take the backing that it was on originally, and then you'll just rub into the transfer on top of the transfer so that you will burnish it into your piece. You can then spray it with a clear coat of polyurethane or like a clear matte Rust-Oleum coat just to seal in the transfer. I think that these snowflakes are gorgeous, and I just love this gold transfer set. My only regret is that I haven't been able to use it enough. If you're interested in this Gilded Tinsel transfer set, I have this design located on my website. It's www.jbowenandcompany.com. I will have this tinsel set linked in my description, and you can also find my website there. And if you'd like to purchase, you can just click on that link and make a purchase. If you are local to Kinston, North Carolina, you can check out Copper Mill Mercantile, or if you are located near Goldsboro, North Carolina, you can check out Lola's Vintiques, and you can purchase these items, the Iron Orchid designs, from Bailey. Next project I'm calling Underneath the Tree. Took out this frame, this wood frame that I purchased, and at first I decided to give it a coat of Winchester paint. It's a Fusion Mineral Paint color. I actually am a Fusion Mineral Paint stockist, and so I thought that this would be a good color to use on this frame because I'm going to be using one of the Crimson Velvet transfers from Iron Orchid Designs. It's the Christmas tree. It's a beautiful Christmas tree. It looks like it was taken at nighttime because the lights are all, twinkling, and it's just a gorgeous dark and moody Christmas tree. But after I painted the frame this color, I realized that the lights on the tree were more of a red color, and this frame that I painted, it looks more of a pinkish maroon type color. So it didn't really look right. So then I took out my coal black Fusion Mineral Paint and I decided to paint right over that Winchester color. Have you ever used an Iron Orchid design transfer? If not, they are super easy to use and they give you excellent results. I cut out a piece of cardboard that fit the frame and I gave it a quick coat of a light gray color. This is the transfer that I'm going to use. Looking back, I probably should have cut the transfer down to size, but you know, I didn't, so here we are. So I went ahead and I placed the transfer on this paper and then I stuck it down. The bottom side is a little bit sticky, and then I pulled off the top side, the plastic part, with the grid. I then took out the little stick that comes with all these transfer sets, and I just began rubbing all over, starting at the top, the transfer, and then I began pulling it off. And you can see there's a little excess at the top and the bottom that I could have pulled off, but it worked just fine like this. So you're just going to gently rub it down, and you'll start hearing a little sound, and you'll start feeling a feeling, and you'll be able to see that the transfer is beginning to stick to whatever material that you're using, in this case the cardboard. So you just want to gently go over it. You'll begin pulling down, and if some of the transfer has not stuck, just place it right back down. Just rub on it a little bit more, and it's just very simple and easy to do. Now I'm just going to place it into the back of the frame, and I'm going to share with you all this little tool that I just purchased. I decided to pull it out for the first time and show you. It's basically a little framing gun. You know, when you buy these frames at the thrift store, sometimes they have those staples in the back, sometimes they don't. And so I'm going to show that to you. At first I thought I was going to just use this piece in here without a piece of glass, but then I thought, you know, I think it would just last longer, and then I wouldn't have to put a wax or a sealer on it. So I grabbed a piece of glass that I had, cleaned it up really good, and then I just added it to this frame, and then I'm going to put the art piece into the frame. Here is my new framing gun, so I thought that I would pull it out for the first time. It comes with all these different staples, and it's very easy to use. It was a little tricky right at first to figure out how the staples went in there, but you know, after about a minute or two, I figured it out. And so if you do a lot of framing, this is an excellent tool for you to use. So all these tools I will link right there in my description if you're interested. And here is the final reveal. Isn't it gorgeous? I think that if I was to put this in my booth, I would price it at $34.99. If you are enjoying my video and you like these projects, I would love for you to give me a like, leave me a comment, and subscribe to my channel. Next project is this rocking horse that I thrifted. It looks like something that would have been popular in the 90s, possibly the 80s or the early 2000s. I'm not quite sure. It looks like someone had purchased it from Goodwill and then they donated it to this store. And anyway, they charged a little bit more at this store, but that's okay. It was still a good price. So the first thing I did is I took out my cleaner, sprayed it, and I wiped it off. After I cleaned this rocking horse, I then took out my sandpaper, and it's just a fine sandpaper, and I gave it a quick sand just to reduce the lines that you can see in the paint. I thought if I didn't sand it, you might be able to see the lines there, and I didn't want to be able to see the lines. I then gave it a couple of coats of paint. The first coat of paint, I had some water on my brush, so that's why it was a little thin. After the paint had dried, I took out that gilded transfer set again, and I decided that I was going to put some of these gold transfers on this rocking horse. The gold looks excellent on dark colors, especially black, but also burgundy and red and green and navy. It just looks really pretty, and also looks nice on white as well. All but one of the new releases are limited edition, so once they are sold out, they're no longer available. So if you want to purchase one of these, you need to go ahead and pick it up, because once they're gone, they're gone. decided to use the words Merry Christmas with this holly leaf print. I wanted to leave this horse kind of simple. Now you should have the hang of how to apply these transfers. You can see how easy they are. You really can't make a mistake. They're very simple, they're easy to use, and they add a lot to your project. So go ahead and pick one of these up if you're interested. And I'll be done with this one soon, and I want you to stick around for the last project because it's really cool and I really like how it turned out. It's a quick one. The next project are the Santa ornaments. So I purchased these ornaments and I really couldn't tell if they were vintage or just kind of ugly. So I asked my son, he's 17, I said, do you think these ornaments are vintage or just ugly? And he kind of thought they were ugly. And first I thought that I would do the brass effect on these ornaments. However, if you've watched any of my videos in the past, you would have seen me do that several times. So I thought that I would do something different. But initially I gave them a quick coat of black paint, but then I took them outside and I decided to spray them with some gold paint. My original thought was that I would do a paint wash on these ornaments and then I would just wipe it away. However, the paint was resisting, the paint wash was resisting a little bit. You can see how it's not sticking very well when I was using the water, and it wasn't giving me quite the effect that I was looking for. Then I decided to just give them a straight up thick coat of black paint, and that did the trick. After I applied the black paint and wiped it off, I love the effect. What do you think about how they look? I love the detail. I think they look really cool, and I think they look a lot more high-end. The cool thing about this technique is that you can use it on all kinds of items, Christmas items or regular items as well. If you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to check out Bailey's channel over there at Reclaimed Grace. And thank y'all so much for watching.